Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the pound-for-pound best radio show around the world, it's Leave It in the Ring.
Okay, we're back on Leave It in the Ring, and we got a legend on the phone with us. We got Tommy the Duke Morrison. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. How you doing?
We're doing great over here. You know, we got a packed house. Everybody's anticipating you coming on. So, obviously, we got a lot of questions for you. You're still fighting. You're still, getting out there and doing your business. You got a fight coming up with Riddick Bowe. How did this fight come about, first off?
Riddick Bowe, that's the second person I've heard that from, and I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Really? That's the whole rule out there. Everybody keeps blasting out there, shooting it to emails. They say, "Hey, it's Riddick Bowe, it's Riddick Bowe."
That would be a fantastic fight, especially for me right now. I mean, I think Riddick's up over 300 pounds. I don't know.
Well, I guess that rumor.
After that.
Well, I guess that rumor kind of came about because there was a dream fight for a lot of hardcore fight fans back in the 90s. And I heard Riddick, I know that Riddick's back into the ring. He's training with Max Garcia, the Max Garcia camp. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they were thinking, you guys are going to go at it again.
Well, that's certainly something we need to pursue then. If he's in the gym training, then, we need to try to get with him, Riddick Bowe. Yeah, that would be it'd be a great fight. I would love to do that.
So let me ask you this, because, I got a lot of raw footage of your sparring sessions and your training regimens, okay? And one of them was in a shopping mall. I don't know how many times you've done that, but one of this particular regimen you were doing, the ring was in a shopping mall. There was tons of people surrounding you. I don't know exactly what fight you were preparing for, but your trainers were just wearing at your ribs, at your chest. Do you still do that? I mean, is that one of your preparations you're doing right now?
No, as you get older, things change. Your training has to be different. Your body recovers different. And, but back when I was younger, we did that for the purpose of getting me used to being in front of people. So, a lot of people have stage fright when they get there. A good example of that would be Oliver McCall. The guy in the gym will beat the hell out of you, but you get him in front of a live crowd and he just freezes up. He's never been able to overcome that. And it's been a curse to him, his whole career.
You had a pretty up and down career. You definitely came out, like a blaze. And then, you had a couple tough losses here and there. Is there anything looking back in your career, whether it was outside the ring, just in, being young, being a little bit wild and reckless, that you would have done differently?
Everything, probably. But you live and learn, I mean, I had a lot of fun. It was, I did live a pretty reckless life at one point, but I think everybody goes through that when they're in the 20s. So I got through it, and lived through it, and now I'm, 41 years old and about 20 years smarter, and feel like I finally got it together,
in your last fight, I believe it was your last fight. I know there was a fight not too long ago you were supposed to fight, and initially it was going to be under mixed martial arts rules, and then it ended up last minute being changed to boxing rules. Would you ever consider doing mixed martial arts? I know some fighters get into it, including Ray Mercer. No? No, I'm not interested in doing that, unless I, if I was a little, or, probably 18 years younger and had 2 or 3 years to invest in training, I have absolutely no doubt I could do it and do it well. But, 41, I don't have that. I don't have 3 years. I'd rather stick to something that I've been doing my whole life. Something I do, just like breathing. My last question is, how long do you know, or when will you know when you think it's time to quit?
Well, I've already got that plan. No, I don't plan on fighting. My plan is this. Everywhere I go, they, people want to jab needles in me. They want to start testing my blood and all that stuff. But, and on that note, I just had my annual blood test, and it came back negative, just like I knew it would.
Now, you yourself, among a few others, are really the last of the few memorable, good, solid, great, if we can say, American heavyweights. Now, a lot of you guys are coming back. You yourself is back. Riddick Bowe is trying to fight, and Evander Holyfield almost got the title last year. I mean, is this you guys' way of basically almost calling out the newer American heavyweight contenders, saying you guys aren't doing this right, let us come back and show you how?
I don't think it's so much that as it is there's nobody wants to watch boxing because there's nobody for people to watch. You know what I mean? I mean, there's nobody out there that excites people.
Now, Tommy, obviously, one of the big reasons why the heavyweight division, people are bored with it these days, is because of the Klitschko brothers. They're so dominant over their challengers that the fights are so one-sided that, people have no interest in seeing them. Now,
let me tell you how you beat Vladimir Klitschko, okay? Here's how you beat him. You go out there and you hit him on his chin. That's all you got to do. I mean, most people, they don't go out there and, try to fight him. They go out there running from him. They're apprehensive before the bell rings. They go out there and they fight all defensively, and if you do that, he'll dissect you and pick you apart. You go out there and you hit him on his chin, it's all over. The guy can't take a punch.
Sounds to me that you've been keeping your eye on the heavyweights right now, right?
Well, absolutely. I never get too far away from the sport. This is something that's been a part of my life for 32 years,
When people think of Tommy the Duke Morrison, and you said 41, some people kind of, for some reason, they'll think of you being 46 or 47. And really, honestly, you're not much older than the world heavyweight champion of the world right now, Vitaly Klitschko. He's 38. You're 3 years older than him. Now, what fight right now for yourself to even gain the title? What fight do you think you need to get you in that category of being a top 5?
That decision is made by one fight. You're talking about a series of fights. I got about 6 lined up right now, so I'm going to do that. Plan on going to New Zealand and having a couple fights over there. And the third fight, I'm hoping to fight their champion over there and win a title. Then I believe I'll shoot out some challenges to some of these American champions that come over there and fight me. Screw Vegas, and what they want. They want to control shit all the time. You know how it is. All politics wrapped up in all that BS, I mean, nobody wants to go over there and fight me. And if somebody has balls enough to do that, then we'll get it on. If not, then I'm going to mosey off into the sunset.
You said you had 6 or 7 fights lined up. Why so many fights now when in 2007 and 2008 you had 1 fight apiece, and in 2009 you didn't fight at all? What's
That's a great question.
That?
Well, the story is, first I have to find it, but it's such a political whirlwind every time I decide to fight. Everybody wants to rush up on me and start poking needles in me and start dissecting me, and commissions come up, and it's just a pain in the ass. What we do, what we've done here is we've found a place that we are going to be able to fight. I just had my annual blood test the other day. I got the results back, I think, day before yesterday, and everything's negative. So I've, did all the requirements to receive a Kansas license. I've submitted for it, and we're just waiting on an answer now. And that'll be good in Kansas for a year, and I plan on staying pretty busy.
A couple of your bigger fights, revisit them for a second. They're kind of contrasting fights. First, your fight with Joe Hipp in 1992. You received a broken hand and a broken jaw. Maybe that training, getting hit like that, is what helped you get through that fight. But how did you fight through the pain and eventually get the knockout? Actually,
it was actually worse than you described. I mean, I had to fight 7 rounds of broken jaw, broke both my hands. I had a 38-stitch cut over my eye. Well, here's what it boils down to. The harder you train, the harder it is to quit. When you know you're equipped, I mean, I knew I could beat him. No, it wasn't fun. And, yeah, it did hurt every time I even blocked a punch. It hurt. But, like I said a while ago, the harder you train, the harder it is to quit. You have a lot of mental toughness. You don't excel at this sport. It takes a certain type of individual, to want to do it, number one, but to excel at it, you got to be a little bit off your rocker.
The other fight that I wanted to talk to you about is kind of exactly the opposite. I think a lot of people expected you to go into the fight with Foreman with that same mentality, but you elected to do something that you normally wouldn't do, and that's to box and move. Where did that come from?
Well, common sense, mainly. You know, I mean, you can't go out there and bang with someone like Foreman. I mean, he's got over a 12-hour period, there's probably a pretty good chance you're going to get clipped at some point. Up to that point, the only two people in the history of this world that's ever beat him was Muhammad Ali and Jimmy Young, right? So when I went to training camp, normally had, tapes there of all different kinds of fights of the guy you're fighting, right? But when I got there was only one tape there, and they had 2 fights on it. That was when Ali fought Foreman. He fought Jimmy Young. Okay. And we watched them over and over again. Why did they beat him? I'm like, because they didn't stand in front of him. They moved. For 8 weeks, I trained at the Virginia Military Institute in Lexington, Virginia. Very Spartan atmosphere, and I basically changed my whole style. I went out there and executed it perfectly and was able to pull off what many thought was a pretty good upset. Nobody expected that fight to go past 3 rounds. Yeah, I mean, Foreman, he was the most surprised guy in the room, in the building. He didn't know what was going on.